This is the new Aqara Camera E1. Now there are a lot of different smart home cameras out there, but this little camera is packed with some great features that most of them don't have. For example, this has 2K resolution, so videos are clear. You can save your files locally, so there's no cloud service to have to pay for. There's a privacy mode, which is important since it's in your house. It can pan and tilt, and it works with all the different smart assistants, including Apple Home, which most cameras at this price point don't. So we're going to take a look at what the E1 can do. Today's video is sponsored by Aqara. They sent this over for me to check out and share with you guys. If you're not familiar with Aqara, they have a complete ecosystem of smart home devices that are not only affordable, they work well. They make lights, cameras, locks, video doorbell, motion sensors, door sensors, water sensors, vibration sensors, buttons. I have their stuff all over the house. For example, I have a button over there. I have 4 of those throughout the house because they can each trigger 3 different scenes. Personally, I want as few different manufacturers as possible. Also, when you have these different devices from the same manufacturer, they work together in ways that other devices can't. For example, I can unlock the front door with the Aqara lock, and it will automatically turn this into privacy mode for me. To learn more about the E1 camera and the other Aqara devices, I'll put links down in the description, so definitely check those out. The Aqara Camera E1 is $59.99, making it the most affordable 2K option from Aqara that pans and tilts. What's nice is the E1 has many of the cool features that the G3 has, but since it doesn't have a hub built in, it's quite a bit cheaper. The E1 camera has a 101 degree field of view. It can rotate 360 degrees and can tilt up and down 67 degrees. If you tilt it all the way up, that's where the micro SD card goes. Now you can just put it down on something using the flat surface. You can also take advantage of the mount in the box that allows you to attach it to a tripod or third-party mounts to give you some other options. A few of the other features of the E1, it does have a microphone and speaker on it, so you can do two-way communication. It is updated with Wi-Fi 6, which is going to help connect quicker if motion is detected or you want to check out live view. It also has Bluetooth 5.2, and that Bluetooth helps during the setup process. It makes it even easier, where if you open up the app, it can identify that it's nearby and just walk you through that process. Now, one of the great features about the E1 and being a pan tilt camera is that it has some great AI features. One of them is human tracking. So if someone's picked up and human tracking's turned on, it will follow them around as long as they're in the camera shot and take a recording of it. To get even more coverage in the house, you can put the camera in cruise mode. That way it can look across a larger room, and if motion's detected, it'll capture it. If you want to control the pan tilt from the camera, if you open up the app, you got the little direction buttons so that you could get it dialed in right where you want. This is a 2K camera with a resolution of 2340 by 1296. Now here's a look at the camera during the day with some daylight coming in. Here's a look at the E1 during the day. Not a lot of light in this room, but daylight coming in. I'm about 8 feet away, so this is what it sounds like. Now, here's a look at some footage with low light in the evening. Here's a look at some of the night vision footage from the E1. Now, big thing to think about when it comes to smart devices, and especially cameras, it is your privacy. I mean, this is a camera inside your house. Now, what's great about Aqara is when they introduced the G3 camera, they introduced a privacy mode that would roll the camera up, and then you would see these eyes to let you know that it was private. Now with the E1, there's a privacy mode. It does not roll all the way back, but instead the camera will turn itself and face the wall. By default, the camera will rotate 180 degrees, but you can always customize that to whatever angle you need it to rotate to. What's cool is you could either manually turn that on, you can have that on all the time if you want. For example, I'll have privacy mode on all the time with this camera, but if I go into the Apple Home app and check out the camera camera, it will wake it, and then once I close the app, it goes right back into privacy mode. The E1 also has blackout zones, so if you know there's certain areas you're never going to want to have in a recording, you can black it out so those things aren't captured. With the E1, you have two different recording options for video. The first would be just to record motion events. So if motion's detected, it will continue recording until that motion stops. Now, when it does that, it creates a 12-second clip that can be found under albums, and anytime human detection or unknown motion or any of that, it'll create an event for those. You can review those events, or you can just go to the timeline and scroll through to find the event you want. Now, the other option is to record continuously. If you go with that option, you'll still get alerts, notifications, and little videos made each time motion's detected. Then you can go back to the timeline and see the whole event. One of the nice features about the E1 and the video recordings is that you can keep it all local. You can choose to use Aqara's cloud service if you want, but if you decide you don't want to and you just want to keep your videos in the house, you have three different options to choose from. The first option is to stick in a micro SD card up to 512 gigabytes. You will need to buy that. It doesn't come with an SD card, but with that, it'll record continuously, and then once it's full, it'll record over the older videos. Now, if you're just recording individual events, this SD card is going to take care of you for a long time. Another recording option that I really like is being able to use Apple HomeKit Secure Video. And what that does is it'll save any of the recordings from events into your iCloud account for up to 10 days. You do need to have one of the larger iCloud accounts to be able to save recordings. If you get one of the small ones, you can't even take advantage of this feature. I like that I could save my recordings in the iCloud account that I've been using for years. If you do use HomeKit Secure Video, here's a look at the timeline. If it recognizes people, it'll label it with who it picked up. If it's pets or vehicles, it'll be labeled according to that. It's cool being able to scroll through. You could save the videos right into your Photos app. Now, the third option is to save your videos to a NAS. If you don't know what that is, it stands for Network Attached Storage. It's basically a hard drive on your network. With that, you definitely are going to have a lot of room for storage. That's a pretty cool option, especially if you have a bunch of different cameras. You can have the footage feed right to a large hard drive. Now, if you want to look at the videos that you have saved, if you're using HomeKit Secure Video, you would go under the Home app. If you're saving to an SD card, you end up going under the Aqara app. You select the camera, and under Timeline, you're going to see the timeline of where all these different events are. If you are doing 24/7 recording, it'll still show you where the different events are. From there, you could go under albums and you could see the little 12-second clips. Now let's talk about using this with smart assistants. The E1 camera works with Google, Amazon, and Apple. What's nice is you could call it up on your different devices, so you're not limited to just the app. If you want, you can ask for it on an Echo Show. If you have it set up, you can automatically have it pop up on an Apple TV if motion's detected, or just check it out with the live view from there. If you go into the Alexa app, you can see the camera there. Now, you won't be able to record any images or any of that. Same with Apple Home. You would have to do that within the Aqara app. Now, a great feature that Aqara recently released, if you're an Apple Home user, it's being able to sync up scenes that you make under the Aqara app into the Apple Home app. So certain functionality that you're not going to be able to control within Apple Home, you could go into the Aqara app and write a scene. For example, I made a scene that turns off the camera and turns off human tracking. What's great is I could put those two different scenes into automations now within the Home app. So the garage door opens and it automatically puts the camera into privacy mode. If you go into the Aqara app, that's where you're going to be able to take advantage of things like human tracking. Being able to identify a person and then follow them around is going to offer you a lot more value than a camera that's just fixed and someone moves out of the camera shot. You can also take advantage of that AI recognition to trigger automations. In the Aqara app, there are automation options that you're not going to be able to find through some of the smart assistants. One of the ones I have written in the Aqara app is anytime the front door is unlocked with a fingerprint, it's going to turn off the camera for us. It's pretty cool. You could pick which type of thing triggers an automation. So if you have a temporary pin, that can trigger another automation. If someone types in a pin, it turns turns on human tracking instead. This camera is loaded with some great features, so make sure to go check it out with the links in the description if you want to learn more about it or pick up one. Also, check out the other stuff they make. You might be surprised how much good stuff's there. For example, you should watch this video over here on the Aqara Smart Lock. My wife is not into all this different smart home stuff, but she likes that lock. She doesn't have to carry a key. The kids can just go up and use their fingerprint to unlock it. You should check it out. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.